Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, DNJ Reads. I'm Danielle, and today I'm going to be bringing you a 24-hour reading vlog. So I've seen a bunch of these vlogs making their rounds, and I figured I would do one of my own. For 24 hours, I am going to try and read as much as possible. It is not going to be a consecutive 24 hours though. I'm going to set a timer and run it for 24 hours. I'll pause it when I'm not reading because realistically, I really do want to see how much I can get done in a 24-hour period. I have 2 days off from work in a row, so I figured this is the perfect time to do it. So I'm hoping between after I finish filming this and Thursday before I go to bed, I will somehow get those 24 hours in. I am such a mood reader though that I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to read. So I pulled a couple books from my shelves that I figure might make it in there, maybe not, we'll see. But first up is I am actually currently reading Lore of the Wilds. I'm halfway through it, so I will be finishing this one first since it is the physical book that I'm reading. So this is definitely going to make it in. So far, I'm really enjoying this book. We follow Lore. She lives in a village that is kind of cut off from civilization. She is a human. There are elves that live outside of the village, and they don't let any of the humans leave the village. But some elves come and end up taking Lore back to where they live because they want her to go into this library that no elves are allowed into, but she can speak their language. So she is to go in and pretty much catalog all the books and figure out if there's any magical books in there and find any books on astronomy and stuff like that. So far, so good. I am enjoying it. I am excited to continue on with it. Another book that I might want to end up reading is Dreadful. This is a book that I got from my Aardvark book box this month, and it seemed interesting. I guess it follows a guy named Gav who wakes up and he is essentially the Dark Lord, and he has no idea how he got there. He's in a castle with goblins, and he has a princess locked in a cell, and he does not know what is going on, so he kind of needs to play along. So this sounds pretty interesting, so I might pick this one up. Another option I have is going to be Pucking Around. Yes, I have read this one already. I have really been wanting to do a reread of this, so I might pick it up, I might not. It is a chonker. It's like 700 pages or something. Actually, it's not even that much. I think the ebook is more. This is like 569 pages. So I actually might pick it up since it sounds shorter than it actually was in ebook form. But that's an option. That is a hockey romance. And another one that I might pick up is Not Your Damn Omega. This is an Omega-verse. I got this from my Faded Romance box, and it sounds really good. And this one is on my TBR for this month. So I feel like I should pick it up, but we'll see how I feel. Another option, I have 2 books from Hannah Bonham Young that I might pick up. I might pick up Next of Kin, which is actually the first book in a series that I started with the second one, so I probably should finish it out. And then Out on a Limb, which is one I just got this month. It just came out at the beginning of the month, and I'm really excited for it. Those are both romances, so we'll see if I end up picking those up. And another thing I want to do is when I'm not able to be physically reading, because that's a lot for 24 hours, I feel like my eyes are going to start hurting, I'm going to get a headache. But I do have a lot of chores to do around the house, so I do have a bunch of audiobooks downloaded right now that I might pick up. One of them is Cage of Dreams. It is the second book after City of Nightmares, so I might finish off that duology, and I think I have the Paris Hilton memoir downloaded, so who knows, I might pick that up. I was never really a Paris girl growing up, but a friend said that it was really good, so I figured I would check it out since I read Britney's earlier in the year and really enjoyed that, but who knows? We'll see how I feel when it comes down to it. So it is really late. It is like 10:40 now. I had a weird start to this 24-hour reading vlog. I was all gung-ho. I sat down for like 40 minutes and I read, and then all of a sudden my eyes just would not stay open. So I laid down and I had a 2-hour nap on the couch. So I feel refreshed, but it is 10:40 now, so it is definitely time to go to bed. But I finished Lore of the Wilds and I actually really enjoyed it. It was a good first book in a series. I do think some things could have been done a little bit differently, but overall I really enjoyed it. The story was really good and I actually am excited to see what happens in the next one, so I definitely will be picking that up. But where I'm at now, I am an hour and 53 minutes of reading in, so I guess I am just going to go to bed and hopefully wake up probably around like 7 and get started reading right away. I do have some ebooks that I want to put in too that I didn't talk about earlier. I do want to read, I have a series called the Dad Bod series going on right now. It's like monster romance novellas. So I think I have Dad Bod Orc or Troll or something downloaded like that. So I think I'm probably going to pick up one of those. And I do have a couple other ebooks that I want to read. I want to read Secretly Pucking by Rosemary A. Johns. That is a reverse harem, and I think I probably have some others that I'm going to pick up as well. We'll see what happens in the morning though, what I'm feeling like. You never know. Such a mood reader. But that's one book down. Granted, I already read half of it, but it's a good start for the beginning of the vlog. I will check back in when I wake up tomorrow. So just checking in for a quick update. As you saw, I did a bunch of different things around the house this morning, and I started listening to Cage of Dreams by Rebecca Schaeffer. So far, I'm really enjoying it. It kind of picks up right after the last book ended, so that was kind of nice. I just needed a quick refresher on what happened in the last book because it's been a little bit since I read it, but other than that, I'm having a really good time with that. I think I'm about 2.5 hours into that now. I do listen to it at almost 2 times speed, so it goes a little bit quicker, but I think the book is only 9 hours, so I'm well on my way to finishing that. And then I went out and did a couple errands out and about, so I didn't really listen to anything then, but I am just about to go sit outside and I am going to be picking up Dreadful. So I'm very excited for this one. I will check back in with some more information on this once I've read a little bit, kind of let you know what's going on with it. But one other thing that I did last night when I went to bed, I ended up having a hard time trying to fall asleep. So I started reading one of those monster novellas that I was telling you about. I ended up reading Dad Bod Ogre. I started it last night and finished it this morning. It was a fun little read about a girl who is essentially picked in the lottery to go to Earth. This is not an Earth colony, but she is picked to go to Earth to marry a human who is rich, but she doesn't want to. She lives on this colony where she farms this sort of silk from these little puff creatures, and she doesn't want to go. She doesn't want to leave her farm behind, so she runs away, and she runs into the arms of an ogre. This ogre has been by himself for many years. He figures that none of the females want him. There's not enough females in their culture. So he is off patrolling and he comes across her and he kind of has a feeling right away that he likes her and wants to protect her. And it kind of goes from there. Again, it's a novella. It was like 129 pages. So if that sounds interesting to you, definitely pick it up. It was a fun read. I do have another one downloaded that I'll probably pick up. Again, don't remember what it is. There are so many different monsters in this, so we'll see, and I'll come back and let you know. So I'm back with my last update for tonight. It is Wednesday and my first full day of doing a readathon, and I have 9 hours and 20 minutes down. So I am definitely not going to be finishing this by tomorrow night, but that's okay. Again, I'm just trying to see how much I can actually read in 24 hours. So if it goes into the weekend, that's fine. I know I'm not going to get a lot of reading done on Friday because that's my long day at work. So Saturday, I'll probably end up finishing up, if not Sunday. But so far, what I've read today was I read about 230 pages of Dreadful, and I am actually really enjoying it. It is a fun story where this guy wakes up and he has no idea where he is, but he's in this like dungeon area and there's goblins around and they're calling him the Dreadlord. So essentially he needs to figure out who he is and what is going on because he has a princess captured, and it is really interesting, and it's also pretty funny as well. I like the comedy that is part of the book, so pick that up if you're looking for a fun fantasy. And then, like I said earlier, I am also reading Cage of Dreams. I am almost done with it. I will probably finish it tonight before I go to bed. I have like an hour and 40 minutes left, which is even less than that since I'm listening to it on 2x speed. But it is a really good end to a series. It picks up pretty much right where we left off. And if you don't know what the first book is about, it is about this world where essentially you don't want to dream, because if you dream, there is a chance that you can turn into a monster, because in this world, your dreams essentially can come true because there is this monster turning you into whatever you're dreaming about. So in this story, the girl's sister, she actually turns into a giant spider and kills her father and ends up dying herself. So this one is a really fun YA story. I am immediately immersed as soon as I started reading it again. I don't want to put it down. I really, really need to know what happens. So like I said, I'm going to finish that tonight. And I don't think I'm going to pick anything else up tonight. Tomorrow, I want to finish Dreadful, and maybe I'll pick up that Paris Hilton book, possibly. I don't know. I'm not a huge audiobook reader, so the fact that I'm going to finish this book today, all in one day, is a lot of audiobook for me, and I don't have a lot more to do tomorrow. I think tomorrow is going to be mainly a physical reading day. But that's it for now. I'm going to go shower, get ready for bed, and finish off this book. So I'm just checking in. Right now I am about 12 hours and 30 minutes into the readathon. It is Thursday afternoon, so I woke up this morning, and before I even left bed, I read Close to the Edge by Cassie Mint. It actually just came out today. She's a novella author that I really like, and this was a second book in a series. It was only 93 pages, so I flew through that. Really enjoyed it. It is essentially, the first one was this mountain man who lived out in a cave in the wilderness. He found his girl and he came back to the real world. And this one follows his sister, and she meets her brother's best friend from the army, and things go from there. Cassie Mint is great if you're just looking for a quick insta-love novella. I really like her stories. And then after I read that, I finished Dreadful, and this was a fun read. It is definitely meant to be quirky and fun. I would definitely pick this up if you're looking for a fun fantasy where the evil overlord doesn't remember why he's being evil and kind of doesn't want that anymore, but has to pretend, and things go from there. So far, I feel like I'm really doing good with this readathon. I'm pretty sure I finished like 4 or 5 books now, and I actually just went to the post office to pick up another book that came in. I ordered this on Pango, and I'm really, really excited about this one. I have read it before. I do like to collect trophies for my shelf, but I couldn't pass up the deal. It was really cheap, and I knew I just had to get it for myself, and that is Deceived by the Gargoyles by Lillian Lark. This is a reverse harem monster romance that I absolutely loved, and I didn't have a copy, and I wanted to get one for myself. I also really like the inside. All of the chapter headers have this black page, so the edges look really nice. And then the next book that I'm going to be picking up is an ebook. It came out yesterday. I can never remember the names of these books because they are so long, but it's something along the lines of A Beginner's Guide to Afterlifers, Demons, Ghosts, and Other Fallen Angels, or something like that. I will put the picture up just so you know what I'm talking about, but I'm very excited about this one. These are male-male paranormal romances, and this one follows a human and an angel. can't wait to get started on that. So that is going to be the next one I pick up. I'm going to go sit out front. It is a really nice day out, and just sit on the porch in my chair and read that. Good morning or afternoon or night, wherever it is that you are. It is Saturday morning here. I did not check in with you yesterday. I had a really busy Friday at work and I just was not feeling it. I did read though. So to pick up where I left off, Thursday night I ended up finishing the Beginner's Guide book and I absolutely loved it. I think it was one of the better ones. The story really came together. I really enjoyed the characters. It was spicy. So if you're into that paranormal, you should definitely pick up that series by Shannon May. I highly suggest it. So like I said, I worked yesterday, but at lunch I did pick up Notre Dame Omega by Devyn Sinclair. I have not read anything by them before, but the minute I picked this book up, I knew I was gonna love it. I was hooked, and I've read about half of it so far. I'm on page 220 of 455, so almost exactly halfway, and I am absolutely loving this. This is an Omegaverse, and it follows Esme, whose sister is a really big movie star, and all of the packs that come to court Esme end up really wanting her sister instead. So she has been kind of jaded by this whole process and really doesn't think she's ever going to find her pack, but she goes to a party with her sister, and as soon as she gets there, she smells this really good scent, and she ends up bumping into the alpha whose scent it is, and it kind of goes from there. Really, really good. I'm enjoying this so much, and I am hoping to finish this today because I did just get an arc that came in for Not Your Business by Jillian Rink that I really want to pick up, which is another Omegaverse, and I just want to finish this one first because I don't want to have two going at the same time. An audiobook that I picked up yesterday was Paris the Memoir. It's Paris Hilton's memoir. I ended up mowing the lawn a little bit, so put on my headphones and I was listening to that. I'm about 20 or 30% in, and it's actually really interesting so far. She reads it herself, which is really nice. I do like when the person whose memoir it is does the reading. I know when I read Brittany's, she only did a little bit in the beginning because of the subject matter. It was too hard for her, but it is interesting to hear it from Paris's own mouth. I am hoping to get a little bit further into that today as well, and at this point I am at the 18-hour mark, so I have 6 more hours to go, and then I'm going to calculate everything, come back and let you know exactly how many pages I read and realistically what I can read in 24 hours, even though it took like 5 to 6 days. But that's okay. I will check back in with you later. Hey guys, so I'm back with my final update. I finally finished my 24-hour readathon. It is Monday now, so I guess it took me almost a week since I guess I started last Tuesday afternoon. So it was way longer than I thought it was going to be. I really thought I would be able to do it in like 3 days, but I guess reading does take a little bit longer than you think. So I want to go back and talk about Saturday and Sunday because I haven't talked about that yet. So Saturday, I did not get a whole ton of reading in. I ended up going to the lake with my husband and we walked around a little bit. We had dinner and we just spent some time together. So not a lot of reading time got in there. I think I read maybe like 150 pages of Not Your Damn Omega. And it was really good. I really enjoyed that book. So I actually finished it on Sunday. And then I read a whole nother Omegaverse yesterday, which was Not Your Business by Jillian Rink. But let me talk about Not Your Damn Omega first. This one I really, really enjoyed. I think I said last time that I knew as soon as I picked it up, I was going to love this one. And I didn't want to put it down. Obviously I had to, but this was so good. I really enjoyed the writing and the story itself. I do want to pick up more from Devyn Sinclair. I do have the next book in this series, Not All That Glitters, so hopefully I'll be picking up that next month and continuing on, and possibly even going and looking back at this author's backlist because I did really enjoy it. After finishing that, though, I picked up Not Your Business by Jillian Rink. I had an arc come in. It's not due out until July 11th, I think, but as soon as I got that arc, I knew I wanted to grab it. And again, it was the same thing. I picked it up and I knew I was going to love it. I had read Beta by her, which is like the prequel novella to that, and I loved being able to see all the characters come back, and their backstory was just really nice, and I'm glad how it came together. In Not Your Business, though, her mother is a piece of work, and I'm glad she got what was coming to her in the end. But it was interesting to see how the way her mother treated her growing up definitely bled into how she felt about herself when she was older, and how the guys needed to try and show her that she really mattered to them. But I'm so glad I was able to get through that in one day. I would not have wanted to put that down either. And then this morning, I only had like 15 minutes of reading left, so I just put on the Paris memoir that I was listening to and finished up a little bit more of that this morning. I am going to finish it, but obviously I'm not going to finish it in this vlog. She goes through some really, really rough stuff growing up, and I'm surprised that she's even able to talk about it in this way now. I think I would have been scarred for life if I went through some of the things that she went through. So I'm definitely really interested in seeing how the rest of that book goes. But just to recap on all the books that I've read for this vlog, I finished Lore of the Wilds. I had started this before I started the vlog, so I finished up 192 pages of this, and then I also finished up Dad Bod Ogre by Lynnea Lee, and then I listened to Cage of Dreams by Rebecca Schaeffer, and then I read Close to the Edge by Cassie Mint, and then I picked up Dreadful by Caitlin Rozakis, and then I read A Beginner's Guide to Ghosts, Fallen Angels, and Other Afterlifers by Shannon May, and then I did finish Notre Dame Omega by Devyn Sinclair, and then I also read Not Your Business by Jillian Rink, and then lastly, I am in the middle of Paris the Memoir by Paris Hilton. So I calculated it up, and over the course of the 24 hours that I read for, I read 2,395 pages. So I'm really, really proud of what I was able to get done in this 24-hour period. I'm thinking that maybe next time, if I want to film something kind of similar to this, I might do a 24-hour consecutive period, maybe do like an all-nighter, see how much I can read that way. But again, I'm super happy with what I got done in this. So let me know in the comments down below how many books you think you would be able to finish in a 24-hour period, and I'll see you next time. Bye!